What's up? I'm doing another video, this time with Jeremiah. Say hello. He just smoked some weed.
Hello.
Check out our podcast, by the way, the Bull Session podcast. We've done 2 episodes. We're going to do more eventually. We're working on shit. But anyways, and also we have lives. But anyways, we're going to be taking a look at this video here today. It's called Is Pot Evil? Is Marijuana Bad for You? It's by Jesus Freak 777. I've looked at 2 other videos of his, one having to do with pot, so check that one out too. But without further ado, here we go.
Hey YouTube, Jesus Freak with you once again. I'd like to talk to you about marijuana. But before I get into it, I would like to offer 2 points. The first point, let's focus exclusively on pot. The reason for that is, if we bring other drugs into the discussion, they usually offer so many variables that it kind of derails the conversation. The second point.
That's fair. I mean, if you just want to talk about pot, talking about other drugs, that does make sense that would derail the conversation. So, can continue on, I guess.
I do support medicinal use of marijuana. Now, some people...
That's also fair.
Yeah.
Medicinal use of marijuana is good.
I agree with it.
It helps people stop seizures and shit.
Yeah, if you're like, oh, as a medicine,
Yeah.
I'm with it, I'm like, okay, yeah.
Alright, so he's alright so far. And also, like, people with, like, PTSD will smoke it and then they'll calm down and shit.
Yeah.
They'll, like, wake up in night sweats, and I heard, like, vets will, like, smoke a bowl and then they'll go right back to sleep without having nightmares and shit. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So, yeah, medicinal marijuana is good.
People would argue the abuse factor. Well, we have to remember that codeine and morphine are also abused, and I don't think we can logically...
I thought we weren't bringing other drugs into this. I don't know. Continue on with what the fuck you were saying. I'm just saying, I heard morphine and codeine, and I'm like, wait a minute.
They argue against marijuana from a medicinal perspective. You know, I just don't think we can argue against it. I do think that there are a tremendous amount of benefits that we can gain from using it.
Okay, so he's being like, morphine and codeine are bad, and so he would rather have people on medicinal marijuana. So that's fair. That's
Yeah,
fair.
yeah, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
I
yeah.
agree with that.
Under appropriate medical guidance and such. Now, let's move into the topic of recreational marijuana use. I am absolutely against it. And out of the gate,
Why? Are you for recreational marijuana, Jeremiah?
Am I for it? Yeah. I don't know. I don't give a fuck.
Why
so
are
I guess
you
I
for
am.
it?
Like,
But why are you for it?
I don't know. I'm a grown adult. As long as if you a grown adult, do your thing. I don't know. I'm real high right now.
But yeah,
like
what's wrong
adult,
with adults
Yes.
smoking pot? What's wrong with adult? Like, I assume you don't have a problem with alcohol.
or cigarettes?
Yeah, like which we've also I showed Jeremiah the video that I did previously, but he had no problem with like hookahs being used for tobacco. So you have no problem with cancer sticks. I mean, he might not smoke them or whatever, but he has no problem with them being sold. But weed being sold to adults, what's the issue? You know? I guess let's find out what the issue is.
will admit that I have a very heavy bias against it because of my spiritual convictions. And you may say, aha, Jesus Freak, well, that's not fair. You should not use those spiritual convictions. I do understand this.
So, grown adults across America can't use marijuana because Jesus Freak has spiritual convictions that tell him not to use marijuana. That's incredibly selfish.
But it does fit in line with the Christian. I'm assuming.
But does it? Because I would argue that Genesis, God said all the plants are good. You know? Marijuana's a plant, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I don't know. You kind of have to like smoke it to like.
Yeah, but like, why would God put a plant there that you smoke and it gets you high? Why would he even invent that? You know what I mean?
Why did God invent plants that can kill you?
I don't. God doesn't exist. That's not the point. But
I'm just arguing shit.
But really though. And, or like, they had like incense they burned off, and like, I'm not exactly sure, but I remember like in the scripture it would say like, and like they would see colors and shit whenever they burned off these incense. So maybe it was a type of psychedelic. I don't know. It's a fucking holy book that's probably fake anyways. But like if they're burning off incense, like incense and pot kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So like maybe they were smoking a bit of pot too. I don't know. I'm just saying. But even if his spiritual convictions do, like restrict him from smoking pot, why does he care if other people do that don't have those spiritual convictions? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why does there have to be a law?
Particular conversation, and I wanted to offer.
And also, how is pot evil? And like, I guess he'll get to it, but
It's the
he's not...
devil's
lettuce.
Right.
For some information that kind of bolsters the secular arguments against legalization of marijuana. Recently, there was a study done, and I will put a link in the description box, that indicates that mental illnesses can oftentimes be brought on earlier than...
Yeah, like, this is in like 1% of people that smoke pot. They will get schizophrenia. And here's the funny thing about that. About 1% of the population gets schizophrenia. So that kind of makes sense. Like, correlation does not equal causation.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah. I don't even have to look at your fucking study because I've read it before. But yeah.
They would have been brought on.
And also, like, you can clearly see not everybody who smokes pot is a fucking schizophrenic.
Yeah.
So...
I don't know.
Yeah, right. Maybe when they're high.
If marijuana wasn't a factor. Now you may say, well, the marijuana is not causing the mental illness according to that article. It only brings it on, so what's the big deal? Well, we are robbing people of a few more productive years of getting their affairs in order, getting treatment, learning to manage these mental illnesses. And I think that this...
What?
I mean, he doesn't have a point, because it's like, what the fuck is another few years of having sanity when you're just going to go insane anyways? But also, like, I can kind of see it maybe making some money, getting prepared for what the fuck's going to happen to you. But also, a lot of people don't even fucking know they have schizophrenia. It just comes on in their fucking mid-20s.
Yeah.
Like, whether you smoke pot or not. But, like, I can kind of see what it's saying, but I kind of can't. But, what's this 1% of the population, because they have this problem, and it's unfortunate, but all because they have this issue with marijuana, and they shouldn't be smoking it. All because 1% of the population shouldn't be smoking marijuana. The other 99% shouldn't because a law is restricting them. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I don't know. I feel like
Wait, you think that it should be illegal?
No. I'm sorry. I latched on to like the middle of that point. No, it should be legal. I was just saying like what you were saying about like based on like just the 1% of 1%
of like marijuana users become schizophrenic.
Yeah.
All because they become schizophrenic and 99% don't have issues.
Yeah, what about all the people who like become alcoholics just from drinking alcohol?
Right, so we ban alcohol again? Let's see how that worked out. Like, come on.
I don't know. Also, I kind of want to go to a speakeasy. I don't know. Just want to
that would be
knock
cool.
3 times and yeah.
But like we got that with I kind of do like pot being illegal. It's kind of like you're an outlaw, but nah, it should be legal, like seriously though.
Very profound thing. So I think these secular arguments sometimes are very unfair because people offer that, marijuana has no real negative benefits or negative
What's a negative benefit? It's something that just cancels each other out. You know, my dick can't get hard, but I'm getting more blood flow down there so it can get hard.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like a negative benefit is like you get hit by a bus,
or like
then
a
they give
parasite,
you $150,000.
or like a parasite that feeds on you, but you also get a little bit clean. You know, it's kind of a benefit, but it's also a negative. You know what I mean?
Are you talking about like a child?
No, that is a negative.
Side effects that it's not really that unsafe. I think when you read the link that I put below, I think you'll see that there are a lot of negative side effects, and we need to
For 1% of the population. And also, are you just gonna hammer this 1 point in? Is that why marijuana is evil? This 1 point, about 1% of the population may be becoming schizophrenic a little bit faster because they smoked weed. And also, by the way, these people, they still get schizophrenia if they don't smoke weed. It's genetic. The weed brings it on a little faster.
Yeah. Also, it's kind of
like, brings it out.
It's kind of like if someone like were to like legitimately die from like marijuana.
Right.
If it were to happen, like, and they were like, look, and it's like, yeah, look.
One
he's
death.
the first person. Like, what?
Right, and it hasn't happened. No one's ever died from marijuana. People have died from smoking marijuana and driving when they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
People have died from smoking marijuana and doing stupid shit, but no one has ever died from smoking marijuana. And the majority of people don't have that issue. The majority of people aren't stupid with it. Like, how many fucking people in America smoke weed? At least, like, 60% are okay with it.
Yeah, I mean...
Probably, like, 1/3, I'd say.
1/3 of everyone smokes weed?
1/3 of America, yeah,
of
probably.
America? I'll say a fourth. I'll give them fourth.
Fourth? I don't know. Something like that, though.
Yeah.
factor those things in to our secular arguments. Now, from a spiritual perspective, some Christians will say, well, it's wrong. And other Christians will say, well, we don't know if marijuana is wrong because God never really speaks about it. I will agree that the Bible does not speak directly about illegal drugs, but it does talk about obeying the laws of the land. Well, what if the law of the land legalized marijuana?
That's circular logic. Marijuana should be illegal because my holy book says that we should obey the laws of the land. Therefore, marijuana should be illegal. That makes no fucking sense. This guy's fucking retarded.
It makes sense for his point, but
it makes sense for a fucking
it doesn't make sense
Christian
outside
that's
of his
deluded.
point. Yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck? What? It should be illegal because in my Bible it says that we should obey the laws of the land. What? Why don't you just legalize it and obey that fucking... Like, what? You can change laws.
It's a fucking grandfather paradox.
What the
fucking
fuck?
Jeez.
I still believe it would be immoral because the Bible speaks of sobriety. And some people will say sobriety, oh, that's referring to alcohol. Actually, I believe the Bible, the word sobriety is being used in an all-encompassing context.
From what I've been told, like, because people do drink in the Bible and stuff, it's okay to have a few glasses of wine. It's not okay to be a drunk.
Literally, Jesus turned water... Like, they were like, oh, we're out of wine. We can't keep going. And he's like, nah.
Yeah.
Keep this shit going. Like,
yeah.
Jesus partied. Like,
so, like... And also, if you smoke one joint and not fucking 27 in one sitting, like, according to your religion, that should be fine according to the only a few drinks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, anyways, continue.
Of anything that affects our decision-making processes. For the negative, anything that clouds our mind and our judgment, that is lacking in sobriety. And I do believe use of...
What's alright... What's wrong with lacking in judgment at the end of the day?
It's unchristian.
You know, just relaxing and lacking in a little bit of judgment. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. Even if you're a Christian, there's nothing wrong with that. And plenty of fucking Christians smoke pot.
Marijuana does cloud our thinking. It does make us lose our sobriety. And I think we see that that would be something that would be displeasing to our Heavenly Father. One can actually drink a beer with their dinner and have no issues with sobriety.
That's not true.
Yeah.
That is
there are
not true.
lightweights that absolutely exist.
Yeah.
Like,
I am one of them. I mean, one beer will get me like a little higher than I was before, but 2 beers, holy shit, bro.
one beer isn't shit. Ain't a speck of shit to me. A beer, no. I don't feel shit. That's water.
Nah,
One.
but bro, but seriously, if you drink a beer, you're a little higher than you were before.
I know.
Dude, if you got in a car, you would be arrested for a DUI. You're a little higher than you were before. Like, you might not feel it.
I mean, I could probably won't even be arrested.
But,
for a DUI.
nah, I'm just saying, you drink a beer, you know what I mean? And it also depends on how fast you drink it, too. You know what I mean? If you chug it, you're going to feel a little bit more than if you sip it throughout a few hours. I don't know. But,
I'm midweight.
I'm saying...
I'm not like a heavyweight, but I'm like...
At least some people, they can definitely feel shit after one beer. And I think he's just trying to, buff himself up. But I don't know.
I'm midweight. By no means heavyweight.
Nah, I'm just playing with you. But, anyways, some people do feel shit after one beer. So, what's taking a hitter? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to smoke a joint and you think that's excess, what about one hitter at the end of your fucking day? What's wrong with that? Even if you're a fucking Christian, how could you judge someone for that? You know what I mean? And how is that evil? I don't get how that's evil.
I feel like it's also about your intentions with it. If you're, as a Christian,
yeah,
it's not your intention to get fucked up, but you know what? Whatever, I'm going to bed, this relaxes me. What's the difference between that and, a sleeping pill? Or, chamomile tea to get you to sleep?
Right. And I know, I'm not going to say who, because she wouldn't like me saying who, but I know an older lady who's in her 60s who's a fucking devout-ass Christian. And I've given her edibles. And I've smoked pot with her. And she's the most Christian fucking lady you've ever met, bro. So, what's evil about that? Again, intentions is a good point. What are your fucking intentions with it? You know what I mean?
If you believe in that type of shit.
And even if you are trying to get fucked up, I don't see how that correlates to evilness. It might correlate to sin. And I guess sin, according to your ideology, is fucking evil. But, there should be, a gradient of sin, right? Murder's more wrong than you getting a little stoned. You know what I mean?
There isn't.
I know. I know. I was a Christian. But there should be. That's how it works in reality. But with Christianity, it's just black and white. You know what I mean? This is wrong and this is fucking good. It doesn't matter how wrong it is. But in reality, I think there's a level of wrongness and there's shades of fucking gray.
Matter of fact, you can still drive a car. But it has been demonstrated that marijuana also affects our sobriety. And how much?
If you drink a beer and drive a car, you will be arrested for a DUI. Now, also, that depends on when you get caught after drinking the beer, because you could go down to a 0.7, but if you chug a beer, you get a 0.8. I think that's right, per beer. If you take a shot, you get a 0.8. I'm pretty sure that's it. But, so, and a beer is equivalent to a shot. And same thing with, a glass of wine. But, yeah, you can't drive a car after drinking a beer. Unless, again, you're just sipping it throughout the night and you stay at, a fucking... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I'm not going to say, will one puff of marijuana, of a joint, will that affect our sobriety? I'm not sure, but I do know.
From experience, depending on your tolerance, if you smoke all the time and you're a heavy smoker, like I have been and am currently, but one hit of weed doesn't really do shit. So if you're a heavy drinker, Jeremiah, one beer probably doesn't do shit.
Fuck you.
But if you smoke a few, yeah, you get a little high. But I would argue even if you smoke one hitter, you're a little higher than you were before. Even if you don't notice it. It's just little things that you'll do. Then you'll be like, maybe I am a little stoned right now,
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, most people that drink socially are able to do so without losing their sobriety. But I don't know of people that are smoking.
Most people that drink socially are drunk. Who drinks socially? Who drinks socially on one beer the entire night?
I mean, I I would sometimes do that.
But were you doing other shit too? And also, like, you don't keep your sobriety. I'm just saying, who does that all the time?
I
guess there's people.
Yeah, I feel like that.
But you know what I mean, though? The majority of people don't do that. The majority of people have 2 or 3 beers, if not more.
Also depends on how social you are.
Yeah, exactly. And also, people can smoke a joint and be really social and not lose their fucking shit. They'll be high, but they're not going to be, like, fucking off the wall bonkers crazy. We're doing it right now. We're making a video and we're stoned.
I'm stoned.
Oh, wait a minute. Do you feel that? Do you feel that, dude? I want to go outside and kill some orphans. Oh, sorry, that was the weed talking.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought there was like a commercial break. I didn't know about. I was like, okay.
No. What the fuck? No, don't kill orphans, people. But anyways, continue, Jesus freak.
Marijuana socially that don't seek to intentionally lose their sobriety. It's part of smoking marijuana is to get high. So
part of drinking is to get drunk too.
And there's really like no alternate purpose for like drinking.
Yeah,
no,
it's
like,
just to get a little drunker than you were before.
Yeah, there's
a radiant of being drunk.
There's reasons you could smoke weed that aren't just I'm getting
health
high.
Reasons. Medicinal marijuana, medicinal whiskey was a thing back whenever it was prohibited, because people would be shaking and shit because they'd be alcoholics and they'd need whiskey, so they'd go to their doctor and get a prescription for whiskey.
I think they still have that.
That's interesting.
It's not like called exactly that, but I think it's like legit just like alcohol that they like
give out to people.
For an alcoholic. Well,
like
no, I don't know about give
people?
out, but like when you come to the hospital or some shit.
Right, if you're like an alcoholic.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, we gotta.
Maybe I'm not sure, but probably maybe. Yeah.
I think we see pretty clearly that getting high, losing our sobriety, whether it's marijuana, drinking alcohol, is something that our Heavenly Father does not wish for us to partake in. So I just want to...
So wait.
Oh, did he just bring other shit into it?
He did a little bit, but like he's been talking about alcohol this whole time too, to compare it with it, and I kind of forgot about that whole shit. But yeah, he's been bringing other drugs into this whole time. But anyways, he fucking just said drinking alcohol is okay and people can drink socially with alcohol. And then he just said smoking marijuana and drinking alcohol are bad because you don't get your sobriety with it. So he kind of just fucking contradicted himself right there.
So I'm just gonna go to hell because he was like, oh yeah, if you drink it's cool.
And then he's
go to
like...
hell and be like, no, the Christian dude, he told me like this was cool. I didn't get drunk or anything.
And then you're like, did you watch the rest of the video? And he's like, oh, at the end he said it was kind of bad to drink too.
You just end up in purgatory.
I don't know. He's leading people astray.
Make this video as a platform for each and every one of you. What are your thoughts and viewpoints? Make video responses. I really wanted to talk about this, not so much from the spiritual perspective, because...
You've been talking about this from the spiritual perspective for 5 fucking minutes on a 5-minute and 33-minute fucking video, bro. What do you mean you didn't want to bring it up on the fucking spiritual perspective?
I know non-spiritual people are going to disregard the spiritual argument, but I think the study that shows that marijuana helping to usher in mental illness at a much quicker rate, I think it's very profound and very compelling. And I think it kind of shoots a hole in the whole, oh, marijuana is not really that unsafe argument.
So marijuana has a side effect.
For 1% of people with genetic disposition to having schizophrenia. And that's why it's bad. And he brought up one reason why marijuana is bad that wasn't spiritual. And then at the end of the fucking video, he's like, I didn't really want to bring spirituality into this.
Because people who aren't spiritual will deny it. And it's like, well, I mean, yeah.
No shit. And then the point you brought up is fucking retarded. You should add 3 more of those fucking things. Why didn't you have more articles proving other shit? It makes no sense that you'd hammer one article for half the video and then talk about spirituality for the other half of the video. and then pretend like you didn't talk about fucking spirituality for the majority of the video. All because you hammer a fucking 1 point in fucking 3 times doesn't mean you had multiple points.
I think people call that fluff.
Yeah, I mean, people probably be like, Luke, or Pluto, you got a lot of fluff.
Plu. Can I call you Plu?
No, it's PlutoCoffins.
Oh.
Yeah. But anyways, Jesus Freak is retarded. But yeah, I guess this is the end of the video. Subscribe, like the video, do your fucking thing.